Welcome student, welcome to the first part of our next chapter called dimensional analysis. The method of the dimensional analysis plays an important role in the physics as far as we are concerned about the checking that whether a mathematical relation connecting few different physical quantities is correct or not. We can check it with the help of the method of dimensional analysis. Also, we can derive a physical relation between two or more physical quantities using the method of dimensions, and when we convert the value of a unit of a physical quantity from one system of unit to the another system of unit, that can also be achieved with the help of the method of dimensional analysis. So, before proceeding with these applications of dimensional analysis, it is very important for us to understand that what do you mean by the dimensions of a physical quantity. We know that there are 7 fundamental physical quantities or 7 base quantities present in the SI system, and each fundamental physical quantity is assigned its fundamental SI unit. For example, in the SI system, we are having 7 fundamental physical quantities: mass with its SI unit 1 kg, second length SI unit 1 meter, time with SI unit 1 second, electric current with SI unit 1 ampere, temperature with SI unit 1 Kelvin, sixth luminous intensity with SI unit 1 candela, and last amount of substance with the SI unit 1 mole. And we also know that by the various possible combinations of these fundamental physical quantities, we can obtain numerous other number of the physical quantities which are called as the derived physical quantities. So, if we take the example of a derived physical quantity, for example force, we know that it is a product of the mass and acceleration that we have achieved from the Newton's second law of motion. Now, if force is a derived physical quantity, this means that it is derived by the various mathematical combinations of the fundamental physical quantities obtained from the set of these 7 fundamental quantities in the SI system. This means that we can decompose or we can break down the force, and we can finally express it in terms of only the few fundamental quantities out of these a given set of 7 fundamental physical quantities. For example, we know that force is the product of mass and acceleration. Mass here is a fundamental physical quantity, but acceleration is a derived physical quantity which is equal to velocity over time. So, mass and time now are there, which are fundamental physical quantities over here, but velocity is still a derived physical quantity. Velocity, we know that it is a ratio of displacement and time. So, by writing velocity as a ratio of displacement and time, we get the final result which is called mass multiplied by the displacement divided by square of the time. Now, mass and time, they are already the fundamental physical quantities, but we know that the displacement belongs to the fundamental physical quantity, that is length. So, if we replace displacement with the length, then and write all the parameters in this equation in the numerator form only, not in the fraction form, we say that this equation becomes finally equal to mass raised to power 1 multiplied by length raised to power 1 multiplied by time raised to power minus 2. So, in this way, any derived physical quantity can be break down into a set of fundamental physical quantities, and after breaking up this derived physical quantity force into the set of 3 fundamental quantities mass, length and time, we observe that each fundamental quantity is raised to some power. So, power of the mass here is 1, power of the length is also 1, and power of the time is minus 2. These powers to which these fundamental physical quantities are raised, we call these powers as the dimensions of the physical quantity. In our day-to-day life, the word dimension means sides. For example, a triangle has 3 dimensions, 3 sides. A rectangle or square has 4 sides, 4 dimensions. A pentagon has 4 dimensions or 5 sides. So, similarly, when we write down the dimensions of a physical quantity, by writing down the dimensions of a physical quantity, we actually try to find out that out of the 7 fundamental physical quantities, which of the physical quantities make up a given derived physical quantity. For example, in this example of force, when force is decomposed in terms of fundamental quantities, we get only 3 fundamental physical quantities: mass, length and time. So the first important thing about the dimensions, that they tell us that out of 7 fundamental physical quantities, which fundamental physical quantities make up a given derived physical quantities. So in this case, mass, length and time are appearing. This means that force, the derived physical quantity, depends only upon mass, length and time and not on the rest of the 4 other fundamental quantities. Second point, we also observe that each fundamental quantity is raised to some power. These powers are actually called as the dimensions of the physical quantities. And how do we pronounce it? The pronunciation for this is that the dimensions of the force in terms of mass is 1. Dimensions of the force in terms of length is 1. Dimensions of the force in terms of time, it is equal to -2. This means that if the mass has power or dimension equal to 1, this shows that the derived physical quantity force directly proportional to the first power of the mass. Similarly, the power of the length or the dimension of the length is also 1. This indicates that our derived physical quantity force is directly proportional to the first power of the length. But it is having power or dimension -2 for the time, which says that our derived physical quantity force is inversely proportional to square of the time. So dimensions of a physical quantity, they tell us that out of 7 fundamental physical quantity, which of the physical quantities make up a given derived physical quantities, and the powers and the sign associated with the powers, which are called the dimensions of a physical quantity, they tell us how exactly the given derived physical quantity depends upon the given set of fundamental quantities. If we take another example of pressure, pressure is a derived physical quantity which is a ratio of force and area. We have already expressed force as mass into length divided by square of the time. Area is a derived physical quantity which is the product of length and breadth, that is length into length. So we have written as length square. So in this case length get cancelled. So we are left with mass divided by length into time square. So if we write it in this form, removing the fractional form, we get mass raised to power 1, length raised to power -1 and time raised to power -2. So in this way we say that the dimensions of the pressure are 1 for the mass, dimensions of the pressure are -1 for the length, and dimensions of pressure are -2 for the time. That is, our pressure, the derived physical quantity, depends directly upon the first power of the mass, but it depends inversely on the first power of the length, but it depends inversely on the square of the time. So dimensions of a physical quantity means breaking down a given derived physical quantity in terms of the set of suitable number of fundamental physical quantities, and then finding out the powers of each of the fundamental physical quantity. Then the power of those physical quantities, fundamental physical quantities, we call them as the dimensions. We can achieve the same thing not from the physical quantity, but we can also achieve the same thing from the SI unit of the physical quantity as well. For example, we know that SI unit of the force is 1 Newton. Okay, and 1 Newton is, which is a product of mass and acceleration, it can be expressed in the SI units of the fundamental physical quantity, that is the fundamental units, 1 kilogram into 1 meter per second square. So again, if you look at the power of the fundamental unit of each fundamental physical quantity, power is 1 for the mass, 1 for the length, and it is -2 for the time. So not only the dimensions can be obtained by decomposing a given physical quantity by writing down its formula in terms of fundamental quantities, but we can achieve the same thing from the unit of the given physical quantity and expressing it in terms of the fundamental units of the fundamental SI quantities. So over here we can again say that dimensions of the force are 1 for the mass, 1 for the length and -2 for the time. Similarly, SI unit of pressure is 1 Pascal. 1 Pascal we can write 1 Newton per meter square, and 1 Newton is 1 kilogram into 1 meter per second square multiplied by 1 per meter square. So after cancelling out we are left with 1 kilogram per meter per second square. So again, if you look at the dimensions are 1 for the mass, -1 for the length and -2 for the time, which is same as that of over here. So dimensions of a physical quantity, they are the powers to which the given fundamental physical quantities are raised in order to express the given derived physical quantities. What is their importance? They help us to know that out of a set of 7 fundamental physical quantities, a given derived physical quantity depends upon which of the fundamental quantities. For example, the force depends upon mass, length and time, and similarly the pressure also depends upon mass, length and time. But how exactly the force and pressure depends upon mass, length and time, it is indicated by the dimensions of the fundamental physical quantities. So we can define that dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers which are raised to the fundamental quantities in order to represent that quantity. So I hope it will be clear to you that what do you mean by the dimensions of a physical quantity and how we can write down the dimensions of a physical quantity either from the formula of the derived physical quantity or by using its unit. Now we will in the next lecture we will try to understand that how exactly we can write down an important formula for the different physical quantities called the dimensional formula. Thank you.